Welcome to Rosy Studios. Again, I'm Esther. I'm actually pretty excited. I'm recording my first devlog and testing out my new webcam. There are some setups that I need still to play around with, like in the positioning of the webcam. This take more of my surroundings if I compare it to my cell phone that I was using in the last video. And right now my second monitor shows, but I cannot remove it or turn it off because somehow this is also part of my lighting system. Yes, I'm recording in the dark, and if I turn it on, I don't like how it seems. So little by little, if I acquire some lighting stuff, then I will set it up. But until now, I like my setup. So in my first devlog, I'm gonna share with you what I'm gonna do with the game The Last Stand, what I want to incorporate in the game, and how the game started out. Small, I'm gonna share some details about how it started out. The game itself started as like a 2D game in which the player itself gets a lot of enemies and he has to battle it out. Sorry. And so the whole point of the game is to actually last enough in the game. So the reason it started out as a 2D game is because back then I didn't feel comfortable handling 3D assets. I still do not feel comfortable handling 3D assets, but little by little we get a little experience. Once I got experience with 3D, then I decided to evolve the game to a 2.5D experience, and working on the lighting and stuff with the theme and everything. I'm not going to ignore the other game that I started with. There were some concepts that I like, that I would have liked to create in this game that in the one that I'm working on it doesn't have. So the whole plot, the whole gameplay, the whole mechanics actually changed when I decided to move to a 2.5D type of game. So once I actually finished the 2.5D game, I'll be jumping onto the other one and actually see if I can incorporate some other stuff, but that'll be in the near future. So what is The Last Stand? The Last Stand, the whole concept is to get from point A to point B, and in between that path you're gonna encounter some enemies. While encountering some enemies, I'm gonna give you a chance to either fight the enemy or just evade them or ignore the enemy. I'm giving you this option because during the time you're gonna spend from point A and from point B to actually fight the main boss, I'm not gonna give you any item to increase your health. You only have one chance to get to the end of the game, and that's it. So that's the whole point of The Last Stand. The theme about this game is desperation. Try to accomplish your duty as a knight and die with honor. So for the game, I'm trying to go as minimal UI with UI minimal as possible. I'm actually going to be using the columns in the back with the fire. Those will be your indicator about the life. I'm gonna show you something. I still haven't tweaked it yet, but the fire itself, once your life is depleting, the lights are gonna be dimmed to the point that you cannot see what happened in the game. So at that point, you're either in the next strike you're gonna die, or you're gonna have to try to get to the last boss in that condition, in which I encourage you not to do it because you're not gonna last the battle. So I need to add some sounds and environment. I'm gonna add some rain because the whole point of the game is to be at night. Let's see how it goes. That's the gameplay itself. What I will be incorporating in the future, some sound effects. I'm gonna be incorporating, the main reason I'm trying to do this game is actually to incorporate like a basic melee mechanic, like a combo mechanic. I'm actually inspired with how Lucina and how Cloud moves in the Smash game. So I'm actually trying to incorporate something like that. Very basic, but try to incorporate it like that. I did some changes since the last video, in which I'm not calling the animations with parameters. I'm actually calling it by code. As you can see in the background, 3 to 4 to 5 animations. I think it's actually pretty nice to actually call it by code. The only animation that I see I need to tweak a little more is when the player is rolling. The transition between at the end of the rolling and running, then I have to fix that up. And also I add the actions that when the player strikes the enemy, there's a death animation on the enemy. So that basic mechanics is already laid out in my project. Next week I'll be working in a basic enemy AI in which the enemy is moving left to right, and once you're near him, he's going to attack you. Once I have that laid out, then I'm going to see the length I want to give you to get to the big enemy, what kind of structures and the environment is I need to work in the environment, if I'm going to add a little fog, some floors laid out, so what kind of items in the backgrounds I'm gonna put in the environment itself. The goal to the port of the game is to actually port it to PC and to mobile. To PC I'll be using each at first, and then on Steam, since the game is gonna be free, I just need to see how Steam's handle free games. Just beat it out. That until now I'm hoping that it will be like a free game, just like a learning project for me. I also want to port it for Android for the mobile. I cannot port it for the iOS/iPhones because I don't have any Mac related equipment. Once I have a Mac related equipment, I promise I will port it for the iOS. So all your iPhone users, please just bear with me. Soon, if in the future I get like a Mac Mini or a Mac Air or something like that, since with M1 it's pretty affordable, bear with me. Soon. So those are the small details I was gonna share with you about my game. In future devlogs I'll be more into it, what I wanted to share. During my channels and during some videos, I also want to have conversation with you guys related to game developers, how you can be started. In my case, if you can relate to me, I am no artist, meaning I don't have any background as an animator, as a designer. I cannot draw nothing, but you can actually be a game developer itself with the right tools, and most of them are actually free. Unity is free, Blender is free, GIMP is free. So I'm gonna share my side of how I do things, and maybe that will help you out in your journey. Also, what I want to bring in this channel is actually how to incorporate other games, like first-person shooter games, stealth games, and melee games, and action games, and important to mobile, like I said before, and using gamepads or just using the phone input. It can be done, especially since in my last video my goal is also analyze other games like Genshin Impact and how you can recreate it in Unity. And yes, the game is made using Unity, but as a game developer, if you're trying to accomplish something similar as Genshin Impact, how can you start off in brainstorming? How do you start, and then how can you actually make the game? So that is actually the series about analyzing Genshin Impact. I have to sit down and actually brainstorming a little bit. There's a lot of concepts that I want to share with you, but I need to see if there's concept that you actually want to learn, because I don't want to bore you during the videos. I don't want to sound like here is how it's done and you can use it as you want. Game development is not like that. I mean, everyone has different ways to fix something out, especially code related or approach differently any aspect. But that is something that I want to do. Also take other games like Super Nintendo games, analyze them. How can you do the same mechanics in mobile? This is actually something that I'm going to share with you. So this is my first devlog. Still trying to see what kind of other aspects of game development maybe I'm going all the way to actually only think on mobile, but there's some aspect of game development that I actually want to share with you guys. So let's see. Coffee here. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. Something that I'm gonna share with you as a game developer and as a software engineer. You always gonna be learning. There's no way you can stop learning this. So once again, thank you for hearing me out. Until the next one, have a lovely day.